Ooga fucking ooga cunts, and welcome back to Cunt Stream. Tonight is going to be, of course, the Monday night morning show because sometimes it's morning when certain people are watching overseas, depending on where you are, I guess. I don't fucking know. And tonight we are going to be talking about the newest chapter in the pedo saga. I kind of let Schmeckel know a little bit of what tonight's topic is going to be, but I don't think he knows very much about it.
I know very little, and I wish I could keep it that way. Something tells me it's not going to go that way, though.
No, it's not. It's you should feel regretful for letting me decide what the topic is going to be.
I gotta let you make choices at some point.
Like the choice you made when I actually decided I didn't want to be chained up in your basement anymore, but you keep me there anyways because you want me to stream with you. You sick fuck.
I still let you make the choice. I just didn't, abide by your wishes.
Fair enough. I regretted it immediately, but, guess kicking and screaming is just a solid no. Anyways. No, so the newest chapter in what is called, what I'm calling the pedo saga is Anime Ross, as he was dubbed by Tonka earlier on Twitter tonight. Or today, depending on what time it is. Yeah, Anal Vape is a guy who, when he was choosing his online persona, his online name, what people would call him, went with the name Anal Vape. I'm not surprised by anything he has been accused of or done so far. And recently, he's been caught asking for nudes from an underage girl. Not only caught, but once caught, kept denying this information, even though there was repeat evidence being brought to everybody's attention that not only did he ask for nudes from an underage girl, which, by the way, gave him fake nudes. They're not her. They're not real. Well, they are real, but they're somebody else's. But also, he kept asking, even though he knew she was underage. So...
That's like highly illegal.
It is. And here's the best part. Here's what I found very fucking amusing. This was going on in a certain other YouTuber personality's Discord, who found out most of his mods were actually doing this with the girl, asking for nudes from this girl who, again, I think she did give to some people, same fake nudes and such. And when it was discovered that she was underage, Geek Thulu kicked her out and banned her from the Discord.
Wait, he didn't kick out all the guys hitting on the minor. I mean, kick out the minor too. You probably shouldn't have minors in most things that people like us do.
Well, granted, yes, but no, the mods are still there.
I mean, get rid of the fucking mods. They were knowingly hitting on a fucking minor. I mean, Brockus, you tell me you were hitting on a fucking 16-year-old. I'll have you out yesterday.
No, fair enough. I will completely accept that shit. It's like, oh, yeah, well, okay. No, I stand by this decision. But yeah, yes. So Geek Thulu kicked out the minor, left the mods.
It seems really strange that this comes out right after Geek Thulu's name comes back out when he starts... making accusations at Tonka and all that. Like, maybe... maybe think before you do these things, Geek.
There are a lot of things that could be said for a lot of different people. Like, maybe...
Wait. A rotten beast in the chat says, if you're talking about Anal Vape, from what I heard, her nudes were from before she was underage.
From before she was underage? I'd like you to elaborate that. Did she go backwards in time?
I think he meant to say before he knew she was underage, but...
Yeah. And there were a couple of tweets being shared earlier from Vamp and Tonka. I think it was mostly being sent to Tonka specifically. Or it was other people tweeting stuff out, and then Tonka was retweeting it along with Vamp. Either way, at one point I did see that apparently she had actually said that that those were actually fake nudes, that they weren't even her. It was just a chick who has a body similar to hers, but you could probably Google image search it or some shit like that, and they are accurate or close to the real thing kind of thing. So technically it's not actually kiddie porn, it's an adult.
But he still thought he was asking for shit from a minor.
Yes, he asked for stuff from a minor, got it, kept asking even though he found out she was a minor.
Well, I mean,
and Anal Vape is continuing to actually
right there.
Right, like Anal Vape has been continuously trying to deny this information as much as possible. And there is even a clip from a live stream. Vamp tweeted it out or retweeted it out herself because in it, that girl who on Discord goes by the name Schrodinger, she was on the stream with Anal Vape, and I guess it was a Discord stream. And in it, he's trying to deny that he continued flirting with her after he found out she was a minor. And then she comes out and says, no, he actually kept flirting with me even though he had found out I was a minor, blah, blah, over and over again. And his response was, I don't recall any of that happening. Oh, okay.
That fucking phrase, I don't recall. You either did or you did it or you didn't, you know? I don't recall that happening. It means you fucking did it. You're trying to give yourself some type of plausible deniability for when you eventually get caught in your lie. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't recall.
I don't recall, or I don't remember any of that happening. Shit like that. That was pretty much his response, and that was essentially the end of the clip that was apparently tweeted out to Vamp and others. But yeah. So Malcolm from the North decided to respond to something I had said from one of Tonka's things, and he said he's sad that we have to. He's a little sad that we have to reset the clock again, and I'm just thinking we have to shoot the fucking clock because honestly, that thing has to be reset every fucking 3 weeks because there's a new case of another person who is kind of getting their name out there, kind of becoming well-known, and then they become extremely well-known because all of a sudden they're either a pedo defender, a pedo shielder, or a pedo themselves. It's becoming weirder and weirder.
I miss the doxers at this point. Bring Zep back.
I kind of miss the doxers too. I mean, like, we could go back.
I want my nice little alien. These guys are making me love Zeph.
It all started with him too. Oh, God damn it. What? Yeah, like last year, what was the biggest controversial thing that was going around? Zeph and Liz Reptile were discovered to be doxers. They infiltrated various different online social circles and actually started doxing people all over the fucking place. And they wouldn't stop. And every single time they got caught, they kept denying that they were actually doing the things that they were very well caught doing and shit. And it kept going on and on. Some of my favorite YouTubers ended up getting doxxed. Their face was doxxed. Their name was doxxed. And it kind of makes me sad a little bit because I'm just like, I didn't need to know these people's, personal lives. I didn't need to know these people's information. I didn't need to know what Tonka looked like behind the fucking screen. I do, but I didn't need to. But this shit it started with them. And it only got worse. Because eventually new versions of them started coming out.
Shit. Samaj is back.
I'm back, bitches! Hey, guys.
Oh, Samaj, I missed you so much. Why won't you let me love you?
Fag.
Yeah.
Anyway. What's this bullshit I'm hearing about you guys missing the doxers? You guys sounds like you're asking for easy targets.
Because now it's fucking pedophiles. I want the doxers back. I'll take doxers over pedos any day.
There's a guy on Discord called Anal Vape who has recently been outed as asking for an underage girl for nudes, even though he found out later on she was underage. He kept flirting with her. He kept asking for nudes. And when this shit broke out, he's been denying the fuck out of it this entire time.
That's some skeezy shit.
Right?
Yeah. We have to get our pitchforks ready. Gotta start a bonfire. It's time for a crusade. Oh wait, there's always a crusade going on.
Yeah, the crusade is currently now. There are pedophiles amongst us, and we don't know who they are.
Oh man. Speaking of which, I didn't look into this. What's this I'm hearing about? Fuck. What was his name? Martimus? The guy, the Roman guy.
Oh, yeah, he went to jail, having fucking child porn.
Really?
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Martius.
Yeah,
Yep.
Martius.
Yeah, see, they're everywhere.
They're fucking everywhere, man. It's like randomly people will disappear from the internet, and then later they reappear on the fucking internet in the fucking criminal section because they went to jail for having child porn or filming it or just sharing it, whatever the case is. What the fuck is happening to the internet? The internet was a mistake, and so was I.
I think they said the same thing about anime a while ago. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I don't know much. I've been away for 4 weeks, so I have no idea. I get snippets every now and then on my phone, but that's about it. So
yeah, I'm sure it's not helping you when me and Anon are just blasting the shit out of fucking Cunstream host chat with a shitload of fucking gifts and whatnot, and you don't know what the conversation is anymore.
Well, to be fair, I barely read that. Sometimes if I see my name go by, I'm like, oh wait, what? Someone's talking about me? What? That's about it. That's the extent of my involvement.
Oh, here's one of my personal favorite arguments. So Anal Vape is basically bitching at Vamp and Tonka because he's apparently saying you guys are going off of what Goyam said, right? Again, I don't know much about Goyam or anything like that, but he's essentially saying you guys are going off of what Goyam said. Blah blah blah. Hypocrites. You mean like you did for months? Because apparently, not too long ago, when the Zoom stuff was going on, shortly after that, eventually, around that same time, Anal Vape was starting to become somewhat well known, and among certain circles. And I guess he was going off of almost anything Goyam was bringing in his defense, but now Goyam is using things against him.
Right,
so it's just
you're gonna have to help me out here. All right, I get the idea that Anal Vape's a bad guy, but also, who the fuck is Anal Vape?
From what I understand, Brockus, correct me if I'm wrong. He was one of Zoom's buddies, right?
He was one of the guys who was tied into the Zoom story because he is one of the, I guess you could say he is one of the anime mafia people. But yeah, around the time that everybody discovered that Zoom was a doxer and a pedo, eventually certain names started popping up a lot more frequently because he would mention them. Anal Vape was one of them. Anal Vape was a part of the anime mafia. His icon, almost anywhere you see, is actually a somewhat cutesy moe version of 02 from Darling in the Franxx. By the way, Smaj, did you like Darling in the Franxx?
It was okay. The second half is kind of dragging.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I might have to yell at you later, but still.
Hey, I haven't watched the newer episodes, so maybe it picked up. I don't know.
It only has 24 episodes. Anyways, that's his icon. His character from that particular series, 02. She's pink hair. She's got horns, all that stuff. And yeah, Anal Vape came about right around the time with Zoom stuff as one of the anime mafia people. In other words, he technically has a bit of a dirty finger inside of doxing. Except, I think what ended up happening was Anal Vape was one of the only members of the anime mafia who didn't actually dox anyone, which is why he was not really attacked, essentially, by anybody else. He was sort of like one of those people, kind of like Joaquin with Zoom. It was discovered his friends really were doxing, and so he was just like, look, we joke about this, but I don't actually do it. I'm not a part of this. I'm washing my hands of this. I'm out. So Anal Vape was still around for a while. And I guess Anal Vape has been hanging out with Geek Thulu a lot. And that's when all of this shit went down in Geek Thulu's fucking Discord.
What happened in his Discord?
Oh, Geek Thulu found out that most of his mods, including Anal Vape, were actually asking for nudes from an underage girl. And that was eventually discovered that she was underage. Anal Vape seems to be the only one who was continuing to ask for nudes afterwards, but the rest of them were still unashamed at what they had done. Geek kicked and banned her from his Discord shortly after that. The mods are still there.
Okay.
I'd have fucking cleaned house. Even Samaj would be gone.
Yeah.
He's objectively the one of you guys I actually need.
Yeah, he's actually, aside from Anon, I would say that Samaj is the only other person you really need on Cunt Stream, because everybody loves Samaj, and if Samaj or Anon goes, most of your audience goes.
Well, I imagine the audience will still stay around. It's just I won't be there to ring Schmeckel in and say, hey, calm down, buddy. I barely even do that, but someone's got to.
Coming down
Samaj
there, bud.
keeps me calm, and Anon keeps me from doing bad things. Maybe I need both of them. Brockus, you're expendable.
Oh, yeah, I'm very expendable.
Well,
But Samaj and Anon are still gone if they start trying to get child porn.
Absolutely.
I think Samaj would end up fucking cutting himself if he found out he was flirting with an underage chick.
Yeah, I'd commit suicide if I found that out afterwards. Like, oh shit, I'm going to jail, aren't I? Time to kill myself.
Seppuku!
Seppuku! I still need to find someone to cut my head off after I've stabbed myself.
I'm pretty sure Schmeckel would love to do that.
I do have a samurai sword. I mean, we can make this happen. If it ever goes that way. I gotta sharpen the damn thing.
Don't get any ideas, Schmeckel.
Hey, I'm just saying, if we ever find out he's into kids, it sounds like a plan.
Exactly. I'll stab myself in the gut and Schmeckel can cut my head off. I hope he's got the arms for it, because Lord knows, trying to get beheaded by a guy with weak arms, it's gonna take a while. I saw Game of Thrones. That was awkward. I got a thick neck. I'm trying to tell you there, Schmeckel, you need to start working out. For the just in case. Why is everyone muted?
I'm laughing too hard.
Oh, well,
that guy with the weak arms would just start whacking at it. I've seen Game of Thrones. That line fucking killed me.
Yeah, I saw Game of Thrones. Man, that was just awkward.
No, but it is what you said, however, is incredibly accurate. Regardless of how sharp the blade is, even if it's an axe or a broadsword or whatever, if you're not strong enough to do a strike that could cut a man's head off like that, you're going to be whacking at it. Like, there are two fucking necessities when it comes to one clean strike. And if one is lacking, you're fucked.
Blood for the Blood God. I haven't read that in a long time. I'm just looking at the chat right now.
While you were gone, and Schmeckel was having terrible internet problems, the Cunt Stream almost consistently every episode turned into a very Warhammer-esque arena.
Really?
Yes, and Blood for the Blood God was said almost consistently for the last couple of weeks due to, one, Warhammer references, and two,
there was a lot of fighting, and it was really fun, and it was really sad that you missed it, Samaj.
Tonka came back temporarily, as well as Vamp.
Oh, yeah, that too. But mainly the Brockus thing.
Yeah, there was a big drama fallout between me and a few
Brockus. Tell him the poo story.
We're not telling anybody any goddamn stories. You can go fuck yourself.
I'll tell him later. Don't worry.
I hate you with a passion.
The sad thing is that everyone's going to tell me everything eventually. So
that's true. That's true. But I don't want to fucking talk about it now.
Okay.
And we're not
all right.
Talk about it now.
All right. Fair enough. Your dirty laundry will be aired. No, I'm joking. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Also, like earlier today, because I actually just got back home like a few hours ago, that kind of stuff. At a Wi-Fi station, I was listening to the Morning Kumite, oddly enough, and I guess Failure and Tonka are back together.
Yeah, about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, something like that. Failure and Tonka reconciled their beef.
Really?
And Failure came back to the Kumite.
Oh, okay. Is Vamp still involved, or is she? Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ! All right.
Kumite is on Vance channel now. It airs before or after.
Actually, it's back on Tonka's now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Either way, like basically the Kumite will happen before or after Vamp Candy's gaming stream. But recently, minus failure, they also had Kraut and Tea on Vamp's channel.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
It was. I was in the middle of streaming on Cunt Stream, and then somebody had said something to the effects of bringing Vamp on. I think it might have actually been me. So I sent her an invite, not exactly a link, but I sent her an invite saying, hey, do you want to come on Cunt Stream and talk about Blink? She responded with, I have Kraut on my stream. And without Schmeckle knowing, without anyone really knowing, I quietly was actually listening to fucking Vamp's stream because I was just like, this is fucking interesting as shit. Tonka and Kraut on the same stream and no one's yelling at each other. I want to know.
What? Really? I thought Tonka would be fucking wringing his neck in. Okay, well.
Yeah. Well, I get maybe that did happen. I did miss most of what was going on, but eventually it was a discussion of, you know, Kraut's point of view from what happened with Kraut on his server not too long ago. That was the majority of what the topics were. Eventually, Ethan Rauh came on shortly after Kraut had left and started yelling at all of the people that were defending Kraut.
See,
It was a hell of a show.
A lot of shit has gone on since I've been away for like 4 weeks.
Yep.
Okay. See, I don't really have all the patience to listen to the Kumite because they go on for like, 4 or 5 hours sometimes. That's a long stream.
Yeah.
I like a bear with just like maybe an hour or something like that because really, how long can you talk about something? But I guess if you're getting passionate and you're just yelling at each other, I guess things could last for a while.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hell, even I managed to get onto a morning Kumite not too long ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Who are you Kumiteing?
I wasn't actually Kumiteing anyways. It was anybody. It was just a normal Kumite. Tonka, like I woke up. Kumite had just started like maybe 20 minutes before I actually like woke up and shit. And I commented in the chat saying like, woo, I'm actually awake for a fucking Kumite for once. All right. Shortly after, I got a DM from Tonka saying that, you know, I could come on if I wanted to, and I did. But we didn't actually like Kumite anyone because it was kind of like back to the original formula of Kumite when Tonka would just basically talk to the audience or talk to his guests or whoever he had had on the show and stuff. But last week it did go back to other formula of blood sports Kumite.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Yeah. All right. Okay, so now I'm slowly getting more caught up on things. All right. So, okay, what else has been going on? I've been away for about 4 weeks.
Let's see. Andy is crashing and burning
Andy
right
tried
now.
to set his nipple on fire. I'll send you a video. It was hilarious.
Did not try. Did he set his nipple on fire?
Wait, what?
Yep. It turns out while you were gone, you had left just before or just after the Andy failure Tonka fallout. Shortly after you had left, I guess Andy really wasn't doing all that well on his streams. I hadn't been watching Awarski live for a while at that point because I was doing more stuff for Cunt Stream. I was paying attention to a lot of other things. I was trying to catch up on videos and shit. So a lot of stuff fell through the cracks for me. A couple of weeks ago, however, I started seeing various different tweets about Andy apparently not doing so well on his show. And I didn't really think anything of it because I'm like, people are just probably talking shit because that was the same stuff they said about Kumite, even though it was still going on strong. Then I started seeing video clips, and one of the most recent Worski lives, Andy set his own fucking nipple on fire. That's when everybody that's when I started to piece it together. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess anything for views.
Schmeckle just put in the side chat. I am literally watching it right now. I am watching as Andy is lighting it. Why is he lighting his nipple on fire?
They paid him to do it.
Oh, really? Oh.
Which, by
As
the
if
way-
you didn't know Andy Worsley was a whore.
Which, by the way, I am willing to set certain body parts of mine on fire, like my arm, for example, for a specific amount of money donation. So if you go ahead and decide to actually start giving us money, I will probably set myself on fire. I think $50 for setting my hand on fire.
I'm actually, I remember seeing screenshots of this on Mr. Maker's Twitter feed. It's something along the lines like Andy's finally lost it. And I'm looking at this video. I got the sound muted, and it looks like he's full on lost his mind.
Yeah, I don't really know. I kind of feel bad for Andy because he does pay the bills and rent with his channel and such. And if his views on his streams are really, really good, which they still are, but his subscriber count and his Patreon donations and super chats start dwindling, then that starts to really reflect badly for Andy, because that just shows that people are not enjoying watching him anymore. And it kind of will turn somebody into a dancing monkey if they absolutely have to be, which sounds like that's pretty much what Andy is going through. And like I said, I feel bad for him because I actually still like the guy. I think he's probably going too far sometimes. He's repeating himself a little too much, but hey, I'm not one to judge.
If I had to guess just by looking at this video, I think it looks like he's going too far.
Yeah.
It's like he keeps crashing and burning. All his co-hosts keep, leaving him, or they get fired, or whatever else. This just does not look good for him.
Yeah.
That's not to say I think that he's like a bad guy or anything. It just looks weird. Now, granted, it could just be that maybe it was like for donations or views or charity or whatever. I'll let some of that pass. But if it keeps happening, I have some concerns.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not the first time he's done something like this. Remember when he ate the really old chunky mayonnaise?
Oh yeah, mayonnaise.
I've been fortunate enough to avoid that. I know of it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, he ate mayonnaise not too long ago.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll just let that go. But he needs to put a shirt back on. Okay, I'm closing this. Thank you, Schmeckel, for showing me that. That was awkward.
Let's see, what other things would you need to be caught up with? I can't really think of much right now. A lot of things have happened, but like not a whole lot.
All right. Well, how did the whole situation go with the proper villains?
All right. If you want a brief rundown, I can give you a very brief rundown, but that's about as far as I'll go, because I don't like talking about it and I want the subject to die.
Okay.
Zell and I got into it on Twitter. We took it to DMs. He took it too goddamn far. I complained about the fact that he was going too far. It got worse, and it wouldn't stop getting worse. On a Tuesday evening, they were apparently, they decided to talk shit on me, specifically me, on Proper Villains while we were doing Punchstream's hand solo. About 20 minutes into that particular hand solo, I had actually been watching and listening some of Proper Villains at that point, and I had actually jumped in around the time that Kadant had herself been actually going off on me, which was very, very unkind. I brought that attention.
He was not saying nice things.
I brought that attention to Schmeckel, and it eventually turned into fucking cunt fu, because we eventually, accidentally cut that stream halfway when we were supposed to be getting Zell and Kadant on to basically cunt fu me and all that stuff. Cog was present because he had jumped onto the Proper Villains, and then he eventually jumped over here. He was actually just in the chat on Proper Villains, but he actually came onto the stream for us. Eventually, AP joined in, so did Tonka, so on and so forth, and it was a fight between myself and those two. it eventually exploded, and we were supposed to stop talking about it and drop it. But later that weekend, apparently, I didn't know this for a while, Zell had gone on to another stream on Trippy's channel and was essentially talking about it and talking more shit on me. Again, the reason why they even did what they did on Tuesday was because of a misunderstanding that was perpetrated by Tom P. He said, come on to Tuesdays, fuck Wednesdays. He was just saying it to be a jerk. He was just saying it to be a dick. He didn't know or care that Not Safe for Wednesdays was a show that Kadunt does. And so Kadunt took that as me talking shit to Tom P about everything that happened. Tom didn't even know what was going on until he was witnessing everything on the Hangout. So eventually Zell decided to take it upon himself to vent everything he said. And at one point in the stream, he does legitimately tell me to shut my fucking mouth. Well, what he didn't know was when I was talking to Anon about all this, she decided she wanted to do a stream where I talk about my ex-girlfriend, the big one from several years ago when I was about 20 years old, for the 5 years that we were technically kind of seeing each other, all that stuff.
Is that Gadunt or?
No, this was a completely different girl.
All
because she was brought up when Zell was throwing a bunch of accusations my way. And a bunch of drama fucking ensued, and it was just all kinds of bad. Now I want nothing to do with either Zell or Kadunt, and I'm pretty much staying off of any streams involving them, which is beneficial because the only streams Kadunt goes on are Wednesdays and Thursday streams.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's the quick rundown. I basically stepped away from the villains completely. The only one I still talk to is Lo-Fi, and that's about it.
Not Antoine or anything, huh?
No. Antoine apparently decided to lie about me on another stream. The same one that Zell was talking shit about me. So
Right.
I did not take kindly to the fact that he wants to actually lie about what I had told him in private.
Okay. All right, then. So it sounds to me, at least, because I do actually remember that particular Hansel. I think I was on there, and you seemed kind of distracted. You were muted for quite a while, and I remember seeing the DMs of shit hitting the fan. So, yeah, I do recall that part. It sounds to me like they just decided to air personal dirty laundry on live on stream, personal stuff between you and her and all that, and decided to paint you as some sort of person. Now, yeah, my personal opinion on that is if personal stuff like that you don't bring on stream. I mean, it's fine if you're going to talk about like personal stuff as a joke or just like some funny, embarrassing stories or whatever. That's okay. I got no harm in that. But breakups are messy, and all that stuff. It really should be left for private stuff. So I understand the extent of how upsetting that could be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I won't push any further on this. I may, who knows, if I ever talk to the other guys again.
Well, this is partly a stream where we're catching you up on some of the stuff that has actually gone down.
Right.
So I figured it was okay to briefly talk about things, not go into too much detail, and it's fine. If you actually want further details, we could probably talk about it off air, but I really don't like talking about it just because it's like, I just want it dead and buried. I want it gone. I don't like anything about what had happened. I'm still very pissed off that certain things wound up happening and certain consequences came about it. It's just, it's all kinds of fucked up, and I hate it.
Mm-hmm. All right. I can understand that. Those are relatable feelings on the subject. What?
Fucking Will Honorless is trying to get me to talk about the new nickname that Anon came up with Saturday night.
What new nickname?
It involves my head having a sort of man bun-esque effect to it because my hair is curly. It looks like a man bun at first glance. It's a ponytail, but now she calls me Man Bun Man.
Man Bun Man.
Yeah,
okay.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can remember, because the title of the nickname is actually what the video was.
Man bun man.
Oh, fluffy man bun.
Fluffy man bun.
Yeah. Everybody
Okay.
was making a fuckload of jokes about me having a man bun. I don't have a man bun.
It just gets curly this time of year.
No, it's naturally curly all the fucking time. I have to wear a hat just to flatten that damn thing out. Even if I wear a beanie, it's only halfway flattened out, so it still looks like I'm trying to have some sort of glorious fucking Jerry curl type thing going on and shit, and it just annoys the fuck out of me. And I want my hair to get longer so it doesn't look like that anymore. It just looks, I don't know, more like fucking Schmeckel's little mini Jufro kind of thing going on.
It sounds to me like you might be one of the few guys who's actually looking forward to going bald.
No, I will.
You won't have this problem.
If I ever actually get some sort of like, male pattern baldness hitting me really hard, I start having a receding hairline. Before it even turns into a cul-de-sac, I'm just shaving the hell out of my fucking head. I'm just like, nope, not going to have those embarrassing comments.
Or just have a kid. I hear kids make men go bald.
The internet is making me go bald.
Oh, fair enough. If people keep talking shit, I mean, yeah, we'll see. Apparently, I think VidCon also happened while I was away.
Yes,
did anything happen?
Nothing bad.
Really, it sounds like it's pretty dry.
Yeah. Basically, VidCon went off, and nothing really bad happened. There was no crazy hair stories that came out weeks later. There was no crazy stories about people exploding or anything like that. The only real drama that happened during VidCon was what happened at TanaCon.
TanaCon.
Oh yeah, you didn't hear. Tana Mojo actually decided to do her own convention because she was trying to spite the fuck out of VidCon, but it didn't go over well because it got canceled the very day it started.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll leave you guys for a second. Someone's at the door.
Fair enough. $5 super chat from Klaus and Lord of Virulence. A ponytail Brockus, don't tell us you're into pony shit. No, I'm not into pony shit. Fuck you. It's not my thing. I don't do the fucking the pony stuff.
I don't know, man. You're into all the anime and all that shit. You seem like, the next step is fucking ponies.
I'm not a horse fucker, nor am I a pony fucker or any of that stuff. I'm not a brony. I'm none of that shit. I don't like that stuff. It pisses me the fuck off. If anything,
I'm saying,
if you want to accuse
you're
me
a
of
larger man who likes anime and ain't had sex in a couple years.
So,
how far are you from becoming a brony?
Not far, because it's
not far.
Happen. It's not going to happen. Like, let me put it to you this way: even if there was the opportunity, which there is, to watch anything My Little Pony, I'm still not going to take it. I will instead just go to an anime website that I watch anime on and rewatch shit that I've already seen a couple of times. Or I will watch fucking some terrible TV show that I fucking despise. I will watch a bunch of different things before I ever watch fucking My Little Ponies.
What? My Little Pony's woke as fuck. Come on, man.
You need to
What's
stop.
wrong with you?
No. You need to calm yourself down. I know you like to make jokes, but sometimes you will go too far.
Brockus, what if you and Samaj sit down and you watch My Little Pony together?
Only if he accepts my love.
Never.
See?
You can do one of those windmill things where, it's not gay because you're not touching the other guy's dick. You're just moving his arm for him.
I just want to slap Samaj's dick like I'm trying to start a fucking engine or something. Come on, let me turn your dick into a fucking propeller.
It's not that's not how dicks work. Okay, don't no.
I have one. Don't you tell me how one works. I know how they work. Sometimes that does work.
I think you're jacking off wrong, Brockus.
I might be. I don't know.
You're not supposed to hit it, Brockus.
Nobody told me anything growing up.
When they say fucking spank the monkey, they don't mean it that way.
Oh, you're okay. See, there was this guy with a monkey, and when everybody kept making jokes about go spank the monkey or something like that, I thought you were supposed to legitimately do that, which would explain that case of rabies I ended up getting.
Yeah, that'll explain a lot.
Mm-hmm. Monkeys are vicious.
Dude, monkeys are scary as fuck.
Well, okay, apes are scary as fuck. Monkeys are cute and adorable, but the second they go feral on you, that's when it's like, I don't know what happened, but this wonderful, cute dream of marshmallows and happiness turned into a fucking nightmare of demons and sadness.
Man, look at
Yeah,
corals.
I don't like monkeys. Apes are alright. I don't like monkeys.
Gee, I wonder why.
They're little fucking people-looking things. At least apes are like big and impressive. The monkeys look like shriveled children, shriveled, hairy children, and I don't like that.
Monkeys are tiny with a tail. I don't get what you're saying.
The fucking like what do you call them? The monkeys that most people get as pets, chiputins or something like that.
Yeah, they're tiny and they have tails, much like a spider monkey. Do you know the difference between an ape and a monkey?
Yes, the tail.
That is the most obvious difference, yes.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there are other differences, but that's how you can look at one and
Size
tell,
is
right?
another one. But apes.
No,
apes
there are some small apes. Chimps
Yeah,
aren't all that big.
not all chimps are large. Yes, that is true. But at the same time, most chimps are larger than monkeys.
Well, I would assume so, because monkeys you can generally, or at least the ones people have as pets, you can like have them sit on your shoulder and shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you could have your average chimp do that.
No.
I think they weigh a good amount and also eat faces. Was it a monkey or a chimp that ripped that lady's face off?
It was a chimp.
See, okay, so monkeys maybe I could see it having as a pet if you could get past the smell and how ugly they are.
All right, fair enough.
But a chimp, like, shouldn't that be illegal?
In a lot of states, yes, chimps are illegal to have as pets. I think in certain other countries as well, it is illegal to have chimps as pets.
Probably because of all the face tearing that they're capable of.
Yeah.
That's one of them, yes.
That fucking 911 call, he ripped off her face. That's probably not a pet you should have.
Probably not. Wasn't it chimps that sort of evolved or whatever and killed people in Planet of the Apes?
It was a chimp that started the whole thing, eventually.
Yeah, they kind of looked like chimps. Then a lot of them just looked like gorillas.
Well, okay, yeah. There's the old Planet of the Apes, and then there's the new movies. I'm thinking more or less the new movies. Weren't those chimps?
I have not seen any of the new ones.
Chimps and apes, yes. The new ones, I believe it was what's the fucking head chimp's name?
Caesar.
Caesar, yeah. Caesar's a chimp, and then he breaks out all the other test chimps and test apes. Technically speaking, chimps are also apes. They're just a smaller version of them. That's it.
Psycho 216 says, "No, Samaj. It was Africa America."
Well,
yeah.
This is America.
That is a subtle way of being racist. Oh, God. So much hell has happened. While you were also gone, Smaj, Sargon came back to Twitter.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, 72 hours, he got banned again.
What did he tweet?
He didn't. He was just like retweeting other people's stuff. He was just being Sargon. I didn't see him being too vicious. The day he came back, Magog sent out a retweet of his where he was essentially announcing he was back. And so I went and I started following Sargon. 2 days later, I discovered Sargon got banned again.
God,
I don't know why. It was most likely Christy Winters and her fucking the cabal that still exists, and they basically complained enough to Twitter to basically get him banned once more.
Well, since Bering stopped engaging with her, you don't really hear a whole lot at a Christy Winters anymore, do you?
True, but at the same time, if you go and look over on her page, she will still talk about Bering, and she will still talk about Sargon. She hasn't stopped talking about them. Bering has.
No, of course she keeps going on and on, but nobody gives a fuck if the only reason anyone saw her shit talking about anybody was because these people responded, right? Now that they've just gotten tired of her, nobody gives a fuck.
True. That's also, I think, something that happened while you were gone, Samaj. The cabal actually broke up.
Oh yeah, they had a fight.
Yep.
They had a fight.
They had a massive fight. Yeah, Christy Winters cabal, as I would refer to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically there was a Facebook group consisting of Christy Winters, Ranting Feminist, Tim Blake, Kevin Logan, Michael Rollins, Steve Shives, and basically all the other usual, suspects when it came to that group. But because of Christy deciding that she wanted to aid not only Coach Red Pill, but also JF Gary Epi by leaving comments saying, get in touch with me if you need to contact a lawyer or a public defender or stuff like that. Because JF and CRP had started a new campaign where they were essentially trying to burn every fucking bridge they could, talk all kinds of shit on people like Andy Worski, Bering, Tonka, Vamp, so on and so forth. Essentially, they turned on the people that were partially defending them at any point, despite the fact that certain people said that they didn't really like them to begin with, all that shit. So because Christy does this, she essentially is trying to aid the enemy. People like Ranting Monkey essentially spoke up against Christy Winters, asking her what the fuck she thinks she's doing. And it finally came to a head and exploded. Tim Blake actually has a video about this same topic where he kind of gives a brief rundown about what had actually transpired, which eventually caused a massive split, and the group eventually disbanded because certain people were just either taking Christy's side blindly or they were actually siding with Ranting Feminists in the whole, why are you being such a fucking hypocritical cunt?
Mm.
So there you go. They eventually broke up, and I wouldn't exactly say they stopped being friends, but they're no longer streaming together as much as they used to. They're no longer really collaborating with each other and stuff like that. And I think Tim has pretty much gone the more solo route.
Okay.
I mean, Tim was never as extreme as a lot of them, right? He's got some opinions that are a little on the dumb side, but he's never been Christy.
Yeah, Tim has always been one of the more reasonable of the group, even to a certain point, Kevin Logan. But yes, they do have certain argumentative points and certain ideas that none of us would actually say yes to. Like, we would probably debate them on it. We would probably argue with them on it, whatever the case is. But, they have actually been willing to at least listen to the other side, even though Kevin tends to stop doing that when it comes to women. Funny enough.
Yeah, it is a little strange how he does that.
Yep. But, yeah, so they're done for, essentially. What else? What other big drama thing happened?
I don't know. Who else broke up? We did the proper villains. We did Christy and them. We did the Kumite unbreaking up.
Yeah, they rejoined and all that. Well, there was something
broke up and got back together.
There was something I've been sort of looking at. I feared this might happen, but this has been pissing me off. and I'm slowly learning more about it, is the new She-Ra.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
The Shima or whatever, the very mannish new reboot they got going on.
She-Man.
You might want to present me, Schmeckle, so that people can see what the fuck I'm talking about.
it's terrible.
This is the most manly She-Ra I've ever seen. A slightly effeminate face, but really, really, really manly body, with the exception of a bulge.
I've seen fucking He-Man have more curves than that.
Yeah, it's a very simplified art style, which is annoying.
And that's what they're going with nowadays because you know you can't base things on talent. That's racist, sexist.
And you can't
I
make
don't know,
people,
it's something.
and you certainly can't make men look like men and women look like women. You have to have some sort of strange, bizarre amalgamation between the two.
Exactly. Make everybody have just one uniform body shape and then nobody's offended. Or everybody's offended. But if everybody's offended, then nobody's really offended.
Yeah, unless the key thing, because the show hasn't even come out yet. Unless they're going to show that this is actually trans, and this actually is a guy trying to.
It
Be
turns out to be midway between transforming from a woman to a man.
This is actually the alternate world where Prince Adam takes the sword and transforms into She-Man.
Yeah, exactly. This is what's going to happen, because that's the only thing I can use to describe these manly shoulders and everything. I just
Manly shoulders, lack of tits, slightly less narrowed waist, no bulge in the pants, thick thighs, but muscular thighs. Come on, people. How do you look at this and think, oh yeah, that's totally She-Ra? That's a very girly looking character.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I never watched She-Ra. That was like way before my time. But this is I've seen the drawings, and this is not that.
Yeah, there have been people, artists that I actually follow that have multiple times in the past actually done She-Ra, He-Man, Thundercats, fan art and stuff like that. And it was all cool. It was all fine. People like Jolly Jack. Samaj, I'm sure you're familiar with Jolly Jack.
and the name rings a bell. You'll have to help me out here.
Very famous DeviantArt artist who does comic strips on his DeviantArt as well as on his own page. It's over the top, obscure, overly sexualized, anthropomorphic females and males.
There's a couple of artists like that. So,
All right. Well, anyways, Jolly Jack is probably one of the more famous ones out of the ones that you might know. I don't know really. All I know is a friend of mine was a huge fan of Jolly Jack, introduced me to him, and now I pretty much follow the guy. He's a bit of a lefty, he's on that side of the argument, but he's not so on that side of the argument that he's actually constantly spouting out about feminism and shit, because he's still constantly drawing lewds and nudes of anthropomorphic fucking women with gigantic tits. He has even done some Thundercats fan art. And I think he even did like a She-Ra fan art pick at one point. I could be wrong on that. And yeah, a bunch of people have done things like, these versions of She-Ra. And now they're trying to push the other version where it's boyish, lesbian-looking She-Ra. And suddenly, this is the real direction we're going. All of you other bastards are wrong.
if they were to make, look, I could see this maybe being a CG TV series. If someone could do something in this style of a He-Man show, that would do, or She-Ra, I don't care which. I mean, as long as it's epic.
Yeah, as long as they're pumping out a good show and not just, unnecessarily changing shit to appease people that aren't gonna watch it in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Jolly Jack did do a She-Ra He-Man thing. I will screen share that picture right now.
Okay. I won't present them there, Schmeckle. Game of Thrones.
So this, I believe, is just one panel from a mini comic strip that he would do, because he does like little comic strips every once in a while and stuff. But Yeah, he does do vastly more adult stuff, and then he randomly will do shit like this, and it cracks me the fuck up. The guy's got a wonderful sense of humor because some of his shit is fucking just off the wall hilarious. But yeah, look, even he is his altered version, his version of She-Ra, clearly effeminate. This is clearly masculine. Do you see the difference, people? I'm pretty sure you do.
There seems to be
that's the thing. They're not even drawing. They're not even drawing women like they're men. It's like Samaj said. They're drawing them so everybody's just shapeless.
Yeah. There's a reason why this has been a very aired on there, so that way people can actually compare the two.
Chances are they have probably presented on Netflix the classic She-Ra cartoon. I do not know. I don't have Netflix, so I wouldn't be able to actually talk on that part.
Have to do some research, I guess. By research, I mean turn on Netflix. So.
Oh yeah, that's actually another thing that's been happening since you were gone. The comic book industry has gotten worse, and Mark Waid is ruining DC. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Mark Waid.
Bendis?
Yeah, Brian Michael Bendis.
Okay. What has he done?
He has cucked the living shit.
It started that way.
Calm the fuck down. So I used to be able to defend Superman to a lot of people when it came to, like, you know, Superman's a piece of shit, Superman's the worst character, blah, blah, blah. Superman versus Goku, Superman versus this character, all that stuff. I would even, in my arguments, consistently say, and I don't believe Superman is actually the most powerful DC character. I believe that if he really wanted to, the Martian Manhunter would be able to kill Superman within seconds, just because Martian Manhunter is actually more OP than Superman is. Etrigan is another character that has the power to actually kill Superman, especially since Superman has no fucking defense against magic. Going off of that anyways, Brian Michael Bendis has been writing for the newest Superman run, which is called Man of Steel. And in Man of Steel #6, Superboy, who apparently talks now like an 18-year-old angsty-ass fucking Tumblrite. I'm not even shitting you. That is basically all of his dialogue. He sounds like he was on Tumblr for far too long, even though he's only supposed to be like 12. And he demands that he wants to go to outer space with his grandfather, who is essentially a resurrected version of Jor-El somehow. Don't ask. I don't fucking know. I'm not sure what's been happening in the Superman world. It's confusing the shit out of me, and I'm pretty sure that's not Jor-El because, you know, twists usually come about in comic books like that. On top of that, apparently, Lois Lane gave no fucks to the fact that Jonathan Kent was talking mad shit to his dad's face and saying, I'm doing it whether you want me to or not. And Lois had a book tour that was supposed to be happening, but it got canceled last minute. So she decided that she was going on a intergalactic fucking tour as well with her son, and essentially all leaving fucking Superman behind. It was like the worst fucking thing I think I had ever seen. Diversity in Comics did a video on it. It was fucking pathetic. But here's the best part. A villain that is actually been proven to be the reason why the Kryptonians are on the endangered species list, because he wiped out 90% of the species. That big baddie shows up in the beginning of this particular issue, and Superman is trying to have a casual conversation with him. That goes nowhere, because it's a technical flashback. And then eventually fast forwards, Supergirl, while Superman is being cucked in his own fucking home, because his supposed father is undermining his fucking authority. His son is refusing to listen to him and talking back to him in a horrible fucking way. And his wife gives no fucks about him or anything that's going on. She's basically about to go and get some intergalactic dick. During all of that, apparently Supergirl has decided to take it upon herself to take out the big baddie that wiped out most of her species. And she does it via one shot with the Phantom Zone fucking mirror. So that all happened in #6.
Huh. You know he's going to get fired. This isn't going to... what?
No, he's not going to get fired.
What makes you think that?
Because if DC has gone the route of deciding to let Zoe fucking Quinn take over as the new head of the Vertigo department of DC Comics. And
Yeah, no,
was
Bendis is
hired on.
getting a fucking office with a view at this point.
Yeah, Bendis was hired on before they even announced that to come on to DC and such, and has been working with them for a while, knowing fully well what Bendis was doing over here in Marvel. Basically, like, dude, Bendis isn't getting fired. He's probably gonna get a fucking nice cozy office with a view in the corner. It's just it's fucking pathetic, dude. Like, the comic book industry's big two are pandering so hard now that it's ruining the comic book industry. Except the Indiegogos are bringing it back, because now everybody's paying more attention to independent comic books that are created by great artists and writers such as John Malin, Brett Smith, Ethan Van Sciver, so on and so forth.
Well, and I know that there was a new one coming out. I think it was like Red Rooster or something like that, and even that one's gotten a lot of backing on it. So, I mean, what does it tell you? It's quite something.
Yep. It also tells me that if you really, really tried, Samaj, if you started doing an Indiegogo for your own comic book, you would most likely be able to have a pretty huge backing pretty quickly. Hint.
Yeah, I got you. I got fish what I'm working on now, but yeah, we'll see how I can go.
Well, yeah, you still got that the art comic contest that's due this weekend.
I'll be honest, I haven't been paying attention to that. I haven't had a chance to, because my internet doesn't work when I'm on the road. That's why I'm always missing.
No, it's fair enough, but you know,
you'll have to catch me up on things later.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I was going to say that I would have given Bendis a pass for a little bit, because chances are when you've worked at somewhere like Marvel for a long time and it's gone downhill, the chances are in order to keep your job, you have to toe the company line. And the line might be something that you really don't agree with. So the idea of him leaving Marvel and going to DC was sort of a sign for a lot of people that something's not right at Marvel if you can't keep your industry veterans happy. And that was sort of the idea I got. But seeing how things are going with Superman so far, from what you told me, chances are that wasn't it at all. That he was probably just as wrapped up in that as everyone else.
Yeah, chances are what's going on is DC is probably reaching out to Marvel for whatever purposes, and they're kind of doing this intercompany sort of back and forth, like they used to do back when they were rival companies in the early days of comic books and whatnot. And so they are most likely exchanging talent, and that's really all it is. It's just, hey, we need somebody to do the new run of Superman. Oh, okay. Do you think Bendis would be a good match for that? Oh, yeah, sure. Or maybe it was just because his contract was coming up with Marvel and he decided, I don't really want to keep working for Marvel anymore. I'm going to go over to DC now because they're offering a better contract.
And a new theory just occurred to me. What if this is all just sort of a ploy to a team up or some sort to get Amalgam Comics back?
Oh, God. That I would accept that if it wasn't for the political climate that exists in both Marvel and DC at this point.
Well, maybe they need the people thinking along the same lines in each side. So that's why Bendis went over. He's really just a mole put in there to whisper ideas into the industry insiders, saying, hey, why don't we try this again? Because as far as I can tell, the rights are still in legal limbo, because they really are a combination of two characters. So that's why you'll never see a reprint of any of these comics.
Well, yeah, but Amalgam Comics, as interesting as it was a mistake. Never should have happened.
Yeah, probably. You won't hear me complaining about that.
Look, Spider-Boy, perfect example of why it's a mistake. His character makes no sense.
What was he like Superboy with some Spider-Man powers?
I don't know. I guess he's supposed to be like Superboy who can't fly but has like a gun that shoots out the webbing, so he uses that to swing around and shit. It's confusing.
But Okay. Yeah, you're right. It makes no sense.
And then what happens when you actually fuse two characters that are essentially the exact same character, like Magneto and Dr. Polaris? What do you get? Dr. Magneto?
Yeah, apparently.
That's still terrible. It's one with the natural mutant power and another one who has a suit that has the exact same power. It's dumb though.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. Jesus Christ.
Bizarnage is Bay. You need to stop, Politipod, you dirty fucking bastard.
Bizarnage?
Yes. I guess he's a huge fan of the idea of Bizarro and Carnage fusing into one character because that's not nightmare inducing at all.
I like this idea.
No!
I'd read the fuck out of that.
I don't know. Well, no, I'd give it a go, depending on if it was handled right.
You really want to read about a godlike being that has a living symbiote covered all over him, and he's just a massive murderous dumb fuck. Although I will say,
Magneto and the Magnetic Men, I forgot about that one. God, that was a boring comic.
Oh, I think this is the reason why the Amazonians started having people from various cultures in the Mascara whenever they started revamping DC comic books and shit. I truly think that because I don't recall before Amalgam Comics fused Storm and Wonder Woman into one character. I don't recall the Mascara ever actually having black chicks, Mexican chicks, or anything like that. I could have swore they were all essentially just Greeks. And then out of nowhere in the comic books, you started seeing black Amazonians and Mexican Amazonians and Asian Amazonians. It was getting really weird and stuff, but I think it was all because of this one.
You think so?
Probably. But realistically speaking, when you actually consider Themyscira being all of the Amazonians during a war that isn't really talked about in history in their world and such like that, it kind of would make sense, especially since, the Greeks did actually interact with Middle Eastern people and North African people from time to time. So it's not out of the question, but at the same time, it is a little strange when they are supposed to be Greek. Deadpool and Ambush Bug, it has to happen. Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know if they were to do that now. It would be, especially with Bendis at the helm of DC, it would be just sort of weird. It would be like a giant SJW crossover, and it would make no sense. Like they would resurrect that one issue where in an alternate timeline where Wonder Woman was a Muslim. I don't know if you ever saw that comic. No one really did. I remember the one panel where it had Wonder Woman running around and she's like there's nothing like having to work on a bad hijab day. She's trying to adjust it. It was just this cringy, weird thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that Marvel and DC have done that were tests that were they should have just stopped at the drawing board itself when they were like, "Hey, I have this idea." "Oh yeah, what's the idea?" "We're gonna make Wonder Woman." "Wait, no, we're gonna have Lois Lane transform magically through technology from Superman into a black chick, and we're going to do a sort of Black Like Me kind of thing." "Oh no, that's a terrible idea. Let's not do that." And then we did it anyways.
Is that fucking Jubilee?
So sometimes you gotta go with the terrible ideas. Sometimes you can't think of anything else.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to stop, though. That's the point I'm trying to get at. You need to stop, even though it's a terrible idea. Canary Amalgam Comics? Wait, who was she fused with?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Because obviously that's supposed to be Hawkeye and Green Arrow fused into one character.
And obviously that's Black Canary and Mockingbird.
Oh, that makes sense. I forgot about Mockingbird's really weird fucking mask that she had that gave everybody the impression she was supposed to be female fucking Wolverine back in the old days. But, like, she wasn't. She didn't even have power. She was just badass. That actually makes a lot more sense, especially since those are the two famous couples.
I have no idea who this guy is.
I believe that is supposed to be, I think that's actually Captain Atom.
Pretty sure that's just Shazam in a different costume.
No, well, that is Billy Batson, but I think that is actually supposed to be somebody from Marvel. Oh, Wonder Man and fucking Shazam.
Right.
One character.
Okay.
That makes sense now, actually.
The Wondrous Shazam? Shawonder? I don't know. I don't know their rules on the play on words or whatever.
Aquamariner.
Obviously.
Amalgam Comics was a mistake. God damn it.
Oh. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, that's one that people really want to see come back, I guess. Deadpool and Deathstroke fused into what? They're the same person, just polar opposite personalities.
Yeah, that's essentially how it worked out. You guys seen the trailers for the Teen Titans Go movie?
No. Well, I saw one, and I'm still pissed.
They keep rubbing in the Deadpool jokes when they talk to Deathstroke. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get the joke. I mean, that deep cuts, guys, but still.
Wait, somebody did just actually kind of tickle my fancy with this. I thought has come to mind, and now I want it. Give me a Starfire and She-Hulk amalgamation. Normally, I would say no, that's a terrible idea. However, in that case, because Starfire is DC Bay and She-Hulk is one of my Marvel Bays, fuck yes, give me that shit. But what would the skin color be? Because one is green and one is orange. What do you get when you fucking fuse the two?
Green and
And that's why you gotta go with something more simple and a lot smarter. Starfire and Blink.
Yellow. They would be yellow.
No, it wouldn't be yellow. That's too much yellow from both sides. I guess it would be more of a dingy gold.
Well, if you're going with green and you're going with orange, they sort of in the color wheel scheme, the in-between color would be yellow. Anything more in the opposite spectrum would be like maybe a blue or a pink. But there again, I mean, you can pull it off. Just depends on what tones.
Yeah, fair enough. And as for Starfire and Blink, I also want that as well. Yes, gimme. A chick who can teleport through energy daggers, who is also able to use those energy daggers and create blasts of fucking deadly energy. Hell yeah, dressed woman. I want it. I want it now.
Okay.
I have problems.
Well, we'll see. I doubt that this will ever happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if Amalgam Comics did make a slight comeback.
It probably won't work, but no. I mean, I could see it happening.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really wants Super Shield to be a thing anymore. I think what they would want if they did do Amalgam Comics, most likely they would probably want to make interesting and different combinations of characters, or at least characters that when fused together could make a more perfect version of the two. Like, people have their issues with Batman. I'm one of them. I have my issues with Batman. But if you were to fuse Batman with, say, Moon Knight, suddenly you have an interesting character.
No, suddenly you have just Moon Knight, but richer, I guess.
Well, at one point in the comic books, Moon Knight was supposed to be an actual rich person. I mean, in his original creation back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, he had the whole Stephen Grant persona.
Yeah, but then like later on, Moon Knight, he becomes a poor person when he's a taxi driver, and he's also another poor person when he's a news reporter and shit like that. Like the various personalities of Moon Knight has definitely played into the various ways you could have like a Batman-esque character without always following the rich boy persona. Still, a split personality having Batman with at least a dark gray costume does sound pretty cool.
It might do something.
Yeah.
I tend to think it would just be Moon Knight in a Batman costume.
Pretty much, yeah. Because also that would make Batman far more interesting because Moon Knight's willing to kill. Just throwing that out there. He will kill if he doesn't see any other fucking point. Like, if you just keep breaking out of prison and you go around killing people, eventually Moon Knight's just
the Joker would have had one fucking chance.
No, the Joker, it wouldn't have just been one chance. The Joker would have gone to jail or gone to Arkham eventually, broken out, probably gone to Arkham one more time, and Moon Knight would have basically been like, if you get out and start killing people again, you're dead. And then the second the Joker releases his fucking Joker Venom, it's just, okay, well, now Joker's got his head fucking taken off. There you go. That's what happens when you fucking do shit like that, you stupid piece of shit. I think
anyway, it looks like Google Hangouts is fucking up. Everyone's getting buffering.
Oh, yeah?
So we might as well shut it down a little early. Samaj, do the Samaj thing.
Right. I have a thing. Oh, yeah, that's my thing. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because I haven't been here. Welcome to the Cunstream. It's been me, Schmeckel, and Brockus. Yeah, we're done. We're going.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, cunts. Clean your cocks, etc.